Right, okay, so the very first slide says, in algebra we often need to simplify expressions, and this may involve expanding or removing brackets as well as factorizing. Now, expanding brackets is what you guys have done so far. You multiply it into the bracket. No. Okay, so by expanding brackets, we mean multiply each term in the bracket by the term outside. So I gave you 4 bracket 2x plus 3. So that meant that the 4x must be multiplied with a 2x and with a 3. So you guys then got 8x plus 12. You good? Okay, so factorizing, people, is basically the opposite of that. It's just reverse, yeah? Okay, so factorizing, is it only for this period? Factorizing is simply the reverse of expanding brackets. So, to factorize an expression completely, we take the highest common factor of each term and place it in front of the bracket. Okay, so, for example, choose the option below that gives a complete factorization of 6x plus 24. So, the 6x and the 24 must have a common factor, meaning one thing, still the same, chapter 16, one thing that can divide into both of them without having a remainder, because that's what a factor is, right? Okay, so what can divide both into 6 and 24? 6, 2 will also, and 3 will also, but they specifically asked for the highest common factor. No. Okay, so if you were to choose an option below, would it be A, B, or C? C, because we said when we factorize, we take the highest common factor, which was 6, of each term and place this in front of the bracket. So over here I'm telling you the highest common factor is 2. But it's not the highest common factor. So that's why we don't use it. Over there I'm telling you that the common factor is 3, but it's not the highest. So that would be my highest common factor, 6. Now have a look. How do we go double check whether we factorize correct? We say 6 times x is 6x, and 6 times 4, that is a 20. Okay, now how do we get there? I'm going to quickly show you how my class from last year preferred it. So, option 1 is. Quickly sit down because I'm halfway. Okay, so you can, option 1, say, okay, 6 highest common factor. You have to write it down, and then after that, start your bracket. Then I say 6x divided by that 6 will give me x. 24 divided by 6 will give me 4, a positive 4. Okay? That's it. Or, my class from last year, they didn't want to do it like we did now, like Mandela. They said, huh? My class from last year. What did they do? They wanted to say divide by the highest common factor, divide by the highest common factor. So then these two 6's will cancel out. So then they saw okay, only x's left. So that's what they write in the bracket. Okay? 6 will go in once, 6 will go in 4 times. And 4 over 1 is just 4. So plus 4. Okay.
Why did ma'am say she should do it?
It's basically this, but just without writing it like that. And we say 6x divided by 6.
So ma'am, that's how we do it.
That's factorizing.
Oh, I'm going to do it like this. Yeah, it's easy. Yeah, I show you memorize.
Okay, right. So let's have a
over the nice.
The important part is, so obviously here it would be option C. Okay. Okay. Let's look at that one. 3x plus 3. What would be the highest common factor? 3. So we always start with writing the highest common factor first. So 3, then your bracket. And then, yes, what we do is we say divide by highest common, divide by highest common. So these will cancel out, so only x. 3/3 is 1. Okay.
So maybe if it's a minus, they can be minus 1.
Yeah.
Oh.
Easy enough?
Yeah.
Good. Example 2, 8x minus 20. I know you've got the answer in front of you, but don't look at it. What would be the highest common factor?
I don't want you just say which one. I don't really want options.
No,
Not
no.
like the first one.
I'm going to tell you to factorize, and then you've got to. 4 is the highest common factor. So I'm going to say 4, then a bracket, because in that bracket I show what's left after I took out the common factor of 4. So that divided by 4 gave me 2x. This divided by 4 gave me 5. Okay. Good. Next one. 21x minus 28. What would be my highest common factor? 7. So I write 7 bracket. 21x divided by 7 gave me 3x. And 28 or minus 28 divided by 7 gave me minus 4. You good? Okay. But that's your answer. So have a look. I'm going to ask you this. Factorize each of the following. So the 4x plus 8, that factorized would then be 4 bracket x plus 2.
So ma'am, this side is all the answers. You don't
Yeah.
have to multiply.
No. The right-hand side is what would be your answer. And in the test, you get a mark for the common factor and you get a mark for the bracket. Okay. Right, so 6x plus 27. What's the highest common factor there? 3. So your answer would be 3 bracket 2x plus 9. Okay. Do you guys get it? Okay. I'm not going to run through all of them. Okay. Have a look at F. F. And F I've got how many terms? 1, 2, 3 terms. Now remember, when I choose a highest common factor, it must be common, meaning all everyone. Right? So what would go into 8 and 12 and 20? Okay, so I'm saying 4 and then my bracket. That divided by 4 gave me 2x. This divided by 4 gave me 3y. And that divided by 4 minus 5. So can you see I still have 3 terms inside my bracket? Okay. Okay. So far, we've only taken out a number as a common factor. Sorry? Yeah. No. Right. So far, we've been taking out a number as a common factor. It can also be that you have to take out a variable.
Like 2x plus 3y, that's one term.
No, there's a plus. 2x is a term, 3y is a term, minus 5 is a term. Okay. Right, now it could also be that you have to take out a variable. Okay, so the top part, I'm not going to go through that. It's just reminding you, no? So don't worry about that too much. So if I ask you to factorize x squared plus 7x, now look at the numbers. It's actually a 1 and a 7. Nice. So there's no number that would be a common factor, but x is a common factor. No. Okay, so I'm going to show x. There we go. It's my common factor that I take out. Then I start my bracket. So if I put this over the highest common factor and that over the highest common factor, X will cancel out with one of them, so that's why X is there. These will cancel out, so 7 is there. Does it make sense? Right? Now over here, 6x to the power 3 minus 3x squared. Now, look at the numbers. Can I take out the common factor, which is a number? Yeah, which will be what? 3. Now look at the variables. X to the power 3, x squared. Would there be a common variable? What? X squared. So can you see it's possible to take out a variable and a number, or just the variable, or just the number? So I'm going to take out 3x squared as the common factor. So then, what would be left at the first term? 2x. What would be left at the second term? Minus 1. People, that is important. So sometimes, and that's why I like writing it like this. Because some kids think, I took that out, so nothing is left there. That's not right. Because this, when I've got the same thing at the top and the bottom, it's actually 1. All right. Are you guys good?
So meaning that?
Yeah. Yes? Okay. 8 to the power of 2x minus 12a. First, look at the numbers, 8 and 12. Would there be a common factor? 4. Okay, now let's look at the variables. A to the power of 2x and a. So what would be my common factor? 4a. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so the last one, factorize 2x to the power of 3y minus x to the power of 2y. X to the power of 2y. Yes, so I would have 2x minus 1 inside my bracket. Okay. Is anyone a bit unsure of what to do here? Yeah. Where at the bottom? That's the previous one. Oh, yeah. When it's just the variables, you get confused. Okay, so the first thing that you've got to do is look at your variables x squared and x. That's actually x to the power of 1. No, I can never take the highest exponent. This is not right. I'm just showing. Let's say I thought it would be x squared. Okay, then these would cancel out, so I'm going to have 1. So I'd say that 1 plus, and then what's going to happen here? That x cancels out with this x. So can you see it's going to be 7 over x? And whatever you've got here, it mustn't still be in there because then it's not a common factor. Okay, so that's how I knew I can only take out x as a common factor. So it helps if you just now at the beginning put it over your common factor because then it's easier to see. So this x will cancel out with one of them. So now you can see only x is left. And this x cancels out with that one, so can you see plus 7? All right. I know it is a bit confusing. The more you practice it, I can now feel that self-probeer work. Okay.
So by the numbers, it's the highest common factor.
Yes.
And then by the variables, it can be any.
It is the highest common factor because common means both have got to have it. I couldn't use x squared because over here I just had x, so it's not common. Okay. Right. So I'm not going to work through these. You can see that when I factorize them, I'm going to leave that on the board for a few seconds. Quickly have a look at those. And then ask if you've got any questions there. Now I'm going to let you guys practice. Okay. Right, so any questions? You guys good? Are you ready to try on your own?